What's up, everybody? This is Corey Owens. I'm on YouTube and Facebook. I will be checking comments after the video, probably not during the video. If there is something that you want to ask me, definitely feel free to comment and I will get back to you with some sort of an answer as soon as I get a chance. High likelihood that I will be interrupted or have some kids coming in and out of the room. But I just wanted to do a quick video to showcase what is possible with print on demand and how you can build a business from scratch working from home with little to no money. I say little to no money because there's a possibility that you would have to spend some money to get started if you want to have a really high quality store. But there are ways that you can minimize the investment that is associated with starting a print on demand business in the early stages of building a brand. So what is print on demand? Print on demand, basically, if you have any graphic design experience, or if you are learning graphic design, you can create some design assets, get them printed onto products like t-shirts, mugs, sweatshirts, banners, posters, tumblers, blankets, puzzle pieces, you name it. There are a ton of products available through fulfillment websites such as Printify or Printful, I think is one of the companies. There's also TeeLaunch. And what you do is you set up an account, you build out an Etsy store or Shopify site or WordPress WooCommerce store, and you sync your store to the fulfillment website, which Printify is an example. You upload your designs to specified products, and then you sync those products to your commerce catalog. If someone goes onto your website and purchases that product, there are fulfillment centers across the United States, primarily, who will take your design file, print it on that one or multiple products that your customer ordered, ship that product out to the customer, and then they will pass down or pass along the profits to your store. All right. So a t-shirt, for example, could cost 12 to 16 bucks. You put that t-shirt on your store for $25, $30. You add a design to it. You upload your own PNG or SVG design file, and you upload a template or mock-up of that t-shirt to your store for people to see and purchase. All right. And if it's 16 bucks and you sell the shirt for 26 bucks, you take the $10 profit, so long as you have something set up to manage the cost of shipping. All right. Which you can include in the cost of your product. So you can say this t-shirt's available, free shipping. Shipping might cost you $5. So if the shirt is 16 bucks plus $5 shipping, you can put it on your store for $25 and then take the $6 as profit and just mark the shirt as a free shipping item on your website. So print on demand fulfillment is pretty cool. There is a ton that you can do with the wide range of products. T-shirts is usually what people start with, and I will pull up my website and very transparently show you what I have managed to build. I built a print on demand store in about I want to say about 16 hours. And within the first 24 hours, I believe I made something around $1,200-$1,500 from a design that went viral. The very first design I uploaded to the website. But then I spent the next 30 to 60 days creating about 300 more products that I've since uploaded to the website, and I've had some sales consistently coming through, 1 to 3 sales a month for these different t-shirt designs. So let me go ahead and pull up one of those websites now, and a lot of you that follow me closely are familiar. I've done a lot of work on this site over the last couple of months to really get it optimized for mobile, tablet, and desktop. have a mobile responsive experience to where if you're on a different device, you'll have a decent browsing experience based on the device that you're on. And I've done a lot with my mock-ups and my designs to make sure that everything looks super professional and high quality. Now, I want to create a course and I want to create some free video content as well, but I'm putting this video up to see what response I'll get across Facebook and YouTube. If you're watching me on Facebook, definitely please let me know if this is something that you would be interested in doing. If you either have design experience or are interested in learning graphic design, give me a little bit of detail about what your interests are and what your experience is, and that'll help guide me in creating a course that is useful to you, or creating modules in my course that could be specifically useful to where you are in your journey in building a work from home business. Now, some people will say that print on demand is passive, and if you get creative enough to be able to design, um, something that people are actually going to be interested in purchasing consistently, then sure, you can make a passive income and you can sit back and watch money come in. But for the most part, in the beginning, I'll say first 6 months to a year if you have a lot of experience, the first year to 3 years if you have a little bit of experience and a lot of passion, is going to be very active. You will have some passive moments where you'll get a lot of shirt sales or product sales, and you'll earn a decent income off of the profits if you can control your margins well. But for the most part in the beginning, a lot of it's going to be active. There's going to be a lot of work going into setting up your store. There's going to be some work going into picking designs and like really figuring out which products to print specific designs on, how to get better, colors in your designs, how to create products that people are going to actually like and want to purchase. But then you'll also want to spend a lot of time creating mock-ups that are going to be appealing and doing some search engine optimization to get people interested in even clicking on your listings to begin with. Now, the variety of options for hosting a store, some of which include Etsy, Shopify, Squarespace, WooCommerce. I specifically designed my website on my own hosted server, which means I'm using WordPress and WooCommerce, but I do have a Shopify. Now, if you decide, or not a Shopify, an Etsy, if you decide that you want to do a little bit of both, or multiple stores, for example, having your own WordPress website, having an Etsy store, having a Shopify, and all of those sites having some of the same products, you'll have more control and more flexibility in being able to offer your customers ways that they can purchase your products, different checkout experiences, but also you'll have a little control over being able to kind of exercise some creative freedom when it comes to doing parody and mashup works, right? So I'm not suggesting that you do anything that's extremely infringing, but if you have the creative capacity to take existing brands and artworks and being able to kind of mash those artworks up into something that's completely unique. For example, logos. So here is a 311 logo. 311 is intellectual property of the 311 band. I'm not sure who owns it, maybe Universal, but I took the 311 concept and I created a 901 shirt, right? So where this would normally say 311, I doubt that 311 is going to come and say and give me a cease and desist on something like this. Now, if I took the 311 design and I put it into my, into a product, and I decided to just change the colors and make it look kind of cool because there's no 311 shirt that is in this color variation, then absolutely that would be considered just straight up infringement. But taking existing concepts and creating your own parody out of them, that's one way a lot of people do print on demand. And they find these interesting ideas to say, oh, that would look cool if it said Memphis. Now that's the original approach that I took. But I also went in here and I'm mentioning this because I'm using my own self-hosted WordPress website, which is, it's a lot easier for me to control which products stay active as a listing. If I were on Etsy and I put up, let's say, let me find an example. You know what? I thought I had the. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and click on this. Where is she? To show you what I mean. So the North Face, for example, is a well-known brand, but I decided I wanted to take that well-known brand and do a spin-off as a parody design for this South Main Street. So I created the South Main. All right, so technically this is a registered trademark of a logo with these 3 solid lines. If this were on Etsy, there is a high likelihood that the listing would get reported, the listing would get taken down, I get a mark against my Etsy account, and I could have my Etsy account disabled. But since I'm hosting this website myself on my own WordPress, it's almost like doing a pop-up and getting a tent and selling shirts directly out of my hand. All right, so there's very little that they can do about that creative freedom if I were printing t-shirts and selling them directly to the consumer. As you know, this is a creative concept. I look at it like it's graffiti. All right, so you have these different options to, that's not for the TV. For the fan, you got to turn the switch up. Turn on the switch in the room first on the wall and then try it. All right. I'm going to count every time that a kid comes in here. So if you had something like this on Etsy, there's a high likelihood that your account could become disabled because either one regular person who has an Etsy account might see this and just report your listing, or the North Face could do a cease and desist, ask Etsy to remove that listing, and then you'll have little control over whether your listings can stay active on Etsy. Now, don't go and take a North Face design and just upload North Face or Nike, Adidas. Don't go and take their brands and upload products that are infringing directly on their trademarks. But if you are going to do completely custom designs, and I'll show you a few, then that is, you should have no problem using something like Etsy to host your store so that you don't have to build a store from scratch. All right, here's a design I did for Ernestine and Hazel's. It is called the Soul Burger Tee. All right, inside of the Soul Burger there is a vinyl in there, so just to kind of play off of the soul and the fact that Ernestine and Hazel's is well known for its live music, and then this is a historical venue for music and entertainment. So I created a Soul Burger tee because I knew that Ernestine and Hazel's didn't have any kind of merch to represent their brand, and the only 2 items on their menu is a Soul Burger and chips. Okay, so this was, in my opinion, a really cool concept that would be appealing for Ernestine and Hazel's. And they even, I think they saw this on Instagram and commented that they thought this was really cool. All right, so if you're going to create custom, like totally unique designs, then you can host your website anywhere. All right, but when you're doing something that is parody and you want to be very careful in what platform you choose to host your design. So this is just a showcase. If you're following me on YouTube, comment, let me know where you found me. If you're following me on Facebook and you're interested in learning how to do print on demand, definitely comment on the video and let me know what it is that you are looking to get into. Are you wanting to sell t-shirts and sweaters and sweatshirts? Are you wanting to do glass kitchenware or decor, right? Posters, banners, blankets? Are you wanting to do children's clothes? Are you a designer? Have you done any graphic design work before? Are you familiar with Photoshop or Affinity or Vectorworks or any I forget the one that everybody's really, Canva, the one everybody's really familiar with lately. There are a lot of methods that you can use to get into vector based graphics. And some of it doesn't even have to be completely designed by you. There are websites that you can go to, such as Freepik, FREEPIK.com, where you can purchase vector graphics for, let's say you want to do a holiday. All right, so Halloween is coming up. We'll do Halloween vector. And then we'll click on the vectors filter here at the top of the page. And this is going to show us all the graphic assets that we can download with an active account. And then we can just simply put these on t-shirts, change the colors, maybe combine some elements from different vector packs created by the Freepik users. And you don't have to know how to do design at all. You just have to be really, kind of witty with how you incorporate text and images into a front-facing, t-shirt design, for example. All right, so you pick a theme. You can always go in here and download assets, change the colors of them to make multiple assets downloaded from different vendors match in their aesthetic. But that's something that you have to get really good at, is being able to see that, for example, some of these right here look more like line art. Some of them are more simplified. Some of them are more like sketch based, where you'll see multiple lines inside of the design. And combining different design styles might not be appropriate for an appealing t-shirt. So that's really all you have to look at, is look at these different design files to figure out which assets you can combine and how to add or incorporate text into those designs. I know. Go play. So the kids want to come in here and not say anything to me at all. Come in here and tell me that their grandma's taking a bath. I'm aware of that. So fun part about working from home is that you get the freedom of being interrupted, taking phone calls, stepping away from your desk, and then, sleeping and being able to earn some, small amount of an income while you're relaxing, right? So you do the work that needs to be done, and then eventually, you'll have these moments where you are waking up from a nap to an email that says that you just sold, 4 or 5 different products off your website. All right, so those are things that you should think about when looking to work from home and starting a business. You don't have to have any design experience. You do have to have the software, so you can get a Adobe Creative Cloud subscription, from anywhere from $25 to $50 a month. Or you can purchase the software outright, or you can use something like Canva. I'm not sure the cost of Canva, but I use Affinity Designer. Here is what Affinity Designer looks like, and this is how I usually set up projects. Normally what I'll do is I'll create a project with an artboard that is 3600 pixels by 3600 pixels. I'll duplicate that artboard, I believe, 10 times across, and then I'll duplicate those 10 artboards 10 times down, and that'll give me 100 artboards to work with. Now this creates a really big file. It could be 150 megabytes worth of a single file, but all of my artwork for a particular niche exists inside of one project in their own separate artboards. What I do is I go in and I create, let's say we're doing metal wall art. So what I had pulled up at the beginning of the stream was this. All right, so this is a metal wall or 3 different metal wall pieces. All right, when combined, they create one large piece of artwork. All right, so if I zoom out, you'll see what this looks like up against a wall. And it's accurately scaled based on the mock-up that I created. So what I can do is I can go in here, double click this, and I can move this arm up, and it's going to reflect on the wall. All right, I can go in here as well, double click on this text, and then I can modify the text in the design, and it's automatically going to update in my mockup as well. So let's say I want to go and change this text that says Brady. I'm just going to change it to Corey with an E, and then it's automatically going to update on my mockup, right? So let's do actually Owens. And then we'll change my first name. Let's see if we can figure out where there it is. We'll do my real name, Courtney. And then, you know, jersey number is, let's say, 03. All right, so I create these graphical assets that I can turn into a real-time photorealistic mock-up, and this is metal wall art. And basically what you do is you upload this file to a print-on-demand website, sync it with your website or with Etsy. When someone orders this customized product and they add their first last name and jersey number, or their son's first last name and jersey number, I can then go and update this design file, upload it to the print-on-demand fulfillment partners portal where my designs are hosted, and then submit that order to be fulfilled and shipped directly to the customer. So, you know, this could be monograms, and maybe I'll open up a monogram for the women that are watching so they can see exactly what it is we're working with here. So metal signs, let's go with, I'll open a couple of them, Tennessee and letters. And there we have it. We've got some collegiate, varsity, monogram letters, really simple, more appealing probably to, the guys, college guys. We got some that are a little more, I want to say this is like farmhouse kind of vibes. Okay, and we got some that are a little more feminine. Okay, and I'm customizing each of these to be completely different. There's an easier way to do this, but I wanted to do the hard way first, and then I'll do some easier ones in another listing. But again, this can essentially be 27 different products that you have on your website. Technically, it could be one product, and they get to choose their letter and choose the name, right? So you don't have to upload it 27 different times, or they can choose a number, right? So I'll pick a font, and then I'll create all variations of the letters, and then I'll upload one product to show a mock-up of, let's say the letter M, and then I'll say, okay, you can choose your letter and the name to go in the letter for your monogram, and then I will update the name inside of one of my artboards, and then upload this PNG file into TeeLaunch, and then after they pay for the file, now I just have to go and upload it and get it shipped to them. The company is going to cut the metal for me and ship this out, right? So there's one example, and then I've got Tennessee metal signs, where I'm going to do like the shape of Tennessee or different variations of Tennessee related metal signs. Okay, and if you understand how metal cutouts work, you have this negative space that's transparent, and that's the piece that gets cut out by the CNC machine, right? But you can't have any floating elements in here. For example, if I were to add some text to this metal sign right here, let me grab some text, TXT. It would have to be a stencil text. All right, so I'm going to set this to erase, and that text is now going to get cut out of my design. All right, but let's say we weren't using a stencil and we had something like the letter A, B, R, and QO. I guess a really good word for that would be barbecue. B-A-R-B. And you know, there won't be an O in this one, but to use more of those letters that I want to use as an example, let me show you what a non-stenciled text would look like. All right, so here's a non-stenciled text. What I'm going to do really quickly is just grab another artboard and I'll grab a rectangle and then I'll grab this text, bring it over here. Let's make it kind of big. All right, so let's say this big rectangle was going to be the sign that we are going to sell to our customer. This text at the bottom is stencil. So let's say BBQ. And then the text at the top, we're going to make it non-stencil text. Okay. I'm going to convert this to curves. All right, so if you have a little bit of background in design and you understand how CNC works, think about this for a second. And I'm showing you this to just, you know, I think this understanding this one concept will help you design almost anything in the realm of CNC and like decor for metal cutouts. And I think that's going to be your highest margin product. So let me subtract some of these items out of here. So give me a second. Change the color of some of these. Okay. There we go. Now, when you have stencil text or stencil design, you can design some stencil graphics to cut out of metal. All of the floating elements that would normally be in the middle of enclosed letters would then become attached to your metal sheet. All right, like the middle of this Q, this B, and this B. Here, a non-stencil font is going to create an issue where this element, after it's cut out of the CNC machine, is now going to fall out of the design. All right, let's say this falls out on the table. Excuse me. This falls out on the table. This falls out on the table. All right, now, which one looks more appealing, you know, of an artwork that you would put on a wall? Right? So let's cut this in half. And I'm going to cut this out. And I'm going to go back over to my basketball mock-ups. And then what I'll do is I'll go in here and I'll hide this guy and this and this. I'm gonna go ahead and just paste this in here, make it as tiny as I need it to be. Okay, let me hide this and this. All right, so now if we look at our design, on the wall, one of these was a stencil text, one of these was not a stencil text. Which one of those is more appealing? All right, obviously is a rhetorical question, the one on the left. So a big part of this course is going to be understanding the concept of design and CNC as it relates to metal wall art. Now, this doesn't matter when you're dealing with t-shirts. You can pretty much put anything on a t-shirt so long as it's high enough quality, large enough like space in your design. You're not designing a really small file, but also you want it to have a high pixel density if you want it to look good in the print. When it comes to the CNC cutting of metal wall art, the only thing you want to focus on is being able to design assets that can be cut out without losing the integrity of some of your shapes. All right, so that's the biggest challenge, and you'll see how in this Michael Jordan picture that I did, all of his face and ears are connected, and these white spaces are cut out of the metal. The black piece is the remaining metal, and then everything else is a hole that's cut into the metal. All right, so you have to think about that when you've got numbers and letters that you're cutting out into the design. Sometimes you have to draw in some additional lines to attach those pieces that would otherwise fall out of the cut if you didn't have those lines there. Okay, you see how this 2 I've turned this 2 into a stencil because it wasn't a stencil before. All right, so everything else basically has to follow those guidelines of there's nothing floating. And there's a program in TeeLaunch that you can upload your file to, and it'll highlight everything red that isn't attached to anything. And if you're okay with those things not being attached to anything, then you can go ahead and fulfill that product being purchased. But here's another example really quick. Go ahead and just paste this in here, the same height and the same width. Okay, so we're going to set this to erase, and I'm going to hide the other one. So the problem here with this one is, let me draw with a pencil maybe in green, and let me make that stroke a little, whoops. This isn't attached to anything. Okay. This one's attached here, but it could probably use a little extra support if we made an attachment here. All right. This isn't attached to anything. So the illusion of this being a soccer ball would break once all of these little pieces fell out. All right, so I'll show you what that's going to look like in a sec. This isn't attached to anything. Neither is, wow, this or this. Or this one. Okay, so let me go and delete this and this. And then we're going to take all of these curves that we just created and turn them to solid white. and set it to erase. And basically all of those pieces would fall out, as well as this one. All right, so I'm going to set that to white, erase, and no outline. All right, so now that breaks the illusion of the basketball at the top and the soccer ball here at the bottom. Now, to fix that, what I'm going to do is go ahead and delete these little lines that I just created, and I'll show you the fix. All right, here is a fixed version of the basketball and the soccer ball. Now, what I did was I came in here and I created these little attachment pieces to now attach those floating elements to the design. Okay, so nothing in here is floating anymore. All right, I don't need to circle all of them, but I think you get the point. Okay. So let me go ahead and delete those and show you the before and after. So this is before. We'll focus on the soccer ball. See all those little black pieces that would fall out once the metal is cut. And then this is the after. All right, so understanding how CNC works and what you can do to increase the integrity of your designs, you can then go and do more complicated artwork like this. Okay, so this is, you know, a personalizable wall art for, you know, like a boys basketball room. This is another personalizable, you know, Hawaii themed, where you can hang a first place, second place, third place metal lanyard, you know, or even it's like those lanyards for tours and live events that you wear around your neck when you get a VIP pass. You can hang all of those on this and screw this into the wall using some rubber or plastic spacers in these little screw holes that I have created in here. Okay, so this is 36 by 36. This, the full size of the full width of this is about the size of a front door, like an exterior door. So if you go to your front door and you open the door from left to right, where you can push your hands up against the inside of the door, that's about how big these are. Okay. Right. So if I design something like this, think of this space from here and here. You know, really it'd be kind of on the outside, but you know, from here to here is about the width of your front door. All right. So if I have something a little bit thinner, like this basketball silhouette, you'll know that, you know, he's going to fit very nicely on a door if you wanted to put him on a door. Okay, and that gives you an idea of how to compare your sizes. So what I did is I went and created 100 artboards, and I created 100 different variations of basketball art. And then I'll go back another day or week, and then I'll do 100 variations of football. And then I'll do soccer, then I'll do baseball, and then hockey, and then skateboarding, snowboarding, so on. All right, my goal is to do 100 each, and then have all these variations where it's silhouettes, and then some accessories that you can purchase to also put on the wall, you know, with those silhouettes, so you can create your own custom, you know, wall art that's not just one individual piece. You can get a Kobe Bryant basketball player, and then a basketball goal, a left and a right, and these are each sold separately. And then you can go and get, you know, let's say a quote variation with his head on it, or something like this to put on a different wall for you to hang all your belts and your lanyards. and then you can go and get your own custom jersey. And with these jerseys, you can, before hanging them on the wall, get some small pictures printed at Walgreens or Kroger, I don't know, Walgreens, and then tape them to the back. You know, you have vertical options, you have horizontal options, and then you can put these on the wall as well and have all of this metal basketball wall art that's technically personalized, because I can go in here and add your, you know, your jersey number and your name and then a birth date to this cutout. Another example is one that you can then purchase to get, you can place inside of the ground, right? So for your kid's school, he's graduating or he's on the basketball team and you want it to be, you know, some middle school, his name, and then it could say 2024, then his jersey number. All of this is customizable, right? So I can do 35. All right, so my goal is to be able to create a course where I teach you from start to finish how to build the business, how to build the website, how to build out all of the designs. Let's say you want to focus on a specific niche and you don't want to do, you know, a variety of sports or a variety of niches or sub niches. You can just do fun kid designs or fun mom designs or fun maternity designs or fun nurse designs. You can stick to one thing that you're passionate about and do 1,000 different nurse designs, and then your whole store basically be nurse related. Okay, so my store is just going to be wall art, and I'm going to have a variety of different niches that people can choose from. I'm going to do a course that's showing you how to set it up from start to finish and how to do all of the categories to make it easier for your customers to be able to come to your website, choose the niche that's specific to their interests, and then browse through at least 100 products per niche. In this basketball one, I have, let's say 10, 20, 30, 40, almost 50 different silhouettes. All right, all customizable with the jersey number and maybe a name. Some of them don't have a name, just a jersey number. Okay, some of them have your house number that you can put on it. So 520, it could also say, you know, 38103 for your area code. And then they can get the left and right basketball goal, all right, so that they can combine different pieces on their walls to then be able to create, you know, a full court experience, minus the players that don't have a ball in their hand. I didn't really design any with no ball in their hand for them to create, you know, a full team of players on their wall. So really we just want it to be one silhouette. Some other ones I have are like a basketball court design. And then these pieces where you can hang your belts and other things, jerseys, and then, you know, Michael Jordan, Ja Morant, Kobe Bryant. All right, and then some customizable pieces that are modular. So you have Ja Morant right here, and then you can choose a left arm with the ball or left arm without a ball, and custom text on both arms, or right arm with and without a ball. And that at the end is going to look like this. So let's grab a Ja Morant. All right, it's going to look like that. If I want him, so this is the Michael Jordan wings, I think. Wings? Is it wings? I don't think it's called wings. I forget what it's called. I don't remember. But it's his. It might be wingspan. It's his wings, his arm span. And I can choose to substitute this out for a left arm with a basketball in it, and or a right arm with the basketball in it. All right, so let's go to Google and you'll see what I'm talking about. Michael Jordan wings. I don't know what it's called. That doesn't sound right, but maybe it is. Yeah, it's called Wings. Okay. So let's open this in a new tab. And let's see if this is a large enough image. I wanted the picture. Images, tools, size, large. Go here. Right click, open image, a new tab. All right, so basically this was the idea for this design. This is where it came from, to turn this into a metal wall art. All right, so I wanted to do that, but I wanted it to be modular so that I can go and later do a Kobe Bryant variation, a Ja Morant variation, and a LeBron variation, and along with some other basketball players. But then you can go and add your first and last name and then your jersey number, or you can do something like this. Okay, so that was my idea for the metal wall art, to be totally personalizable and to have nothing in here you can just purchase outright and get delivered to you. It will all be custom stuff. All right, so print on demand fulfillment basically gives you the freedom to create as much art as you want without ever having a studio or a t-shirt press, right? And the margins won't be incredible, but they may allow you to create thousands of designs, upload those designs, determine which ones sell the most, prioritize those on, you know, your homepage, for example. And once you figure out that more and more people are purchasing, let's say, the holiday designs or the, you know, the parenting designs or whatever it is that you can think of, you create more of those designs that people seem to be interested in, and then you focus more on what's selling. All right, and then you build a niche around that. You don't necessarily have to have a dedicated brand name, right? But you can do something as simple as, you know, if you're in Texas, you can say Texas Tees, right? You can do something really simple, or Texas merch, so that you don't limit yourself in the beginning, and then you can narrow down to what sells, and then create a secondary brand that's specified to maternity shirts or nurse shirts. So then you can say, okay, I'm going to set up a store specifically for nurse stuff and come up with a brand name that's based on nurses, and then sell all nurse stuff because that seems to sell in my store. And then you can build a store and some SEO that surrounds the idea of supporting medical workers. All right. So if you don't have any questions, if you want to see the course, if you would like to be involved in the beta program that I'm going to offer for $1 a day, really it's about $32 a month, and it's you pay for it monthly. Every time I go and create a 1, 2, 3, 4 hour long video over the shoulder showing you the process of setting up a store and designing 100 items, you get full access to those videos that are unlisted and unavailable to the public. All right, so $1 a day, approximately $32 a month. It's a beta program because the original program that I created in the past cost $125 a month. If you want to join this early and you want to learn how to build your own print-on-demand store or a website and learn graphic design, learn branding, let me know what it is specifically you're interested in and what excites you most about this, and I'll create some content around your interests alongside the content I'm creating to teach you how to do a print-on-demand business. If you're interested in joining the beta program immediately and getting access to videos starting as early as next week, let me know and I'll send you a link to where you can sign up and get started.